What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Sunday night football between the Browns and the Giants. Before we get going, as always, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down below. Appreciate the support of the channel. Give us a thumbs up, and then also let us know in the comment section how you plan on playing this game. Of course, the big news over on Sunday Night Football this week, no Daniel Jones for the Giants. They are going with Colt McCoy under center again. Looks like Evan Ingram is going to play for them, though he popped up on the injury report, but everything coming out looks like he is going to go. No Wyatt Teller for the Browns in this thing, but other than that, looks like they get Denzel Ward back. Austin Hooper is going to be back for them as well. So a couple of things broke their way when it comes to the injury report. Of course, we have the full written breakdown over here on the line, so be sure, just come up here. Very easy. NFL Week 15 odds, and click on SNF for Sunday Night Football. Scroll down here if you want to read some of these little trends and things. I'm not a trends guy, but some of this stuff is some of the stuff's interesting to some people. And then here's the matchup stuff as we go right here. So look, if we take a look at where we sit right now, it is Cleveland at 6.5-point favorites on DraftKings, 44.5 your total over on William Hill. 6.5, 44.5 there as well at MGM. 6.5, 44.5. So same line, same total at all three books in this one. I'll flip back over here for you to read some of that breakdown. All right, so if we take a look at these two teams, big mismatch here really comes down to Cleveland's offense versus this version of the Giants defense. Look, James Bradbury is also out for the Giants in this game because of he's got put on the COVID list. So their best corner, they were already thin at corner. Now their one playmaking corner is out for this game as well. And really Cleveland has figured something out with this offense over the last few weeks. And there has been some pretty good movement of the ball through the air over the last, 3 to 4 weeks for this Cleveland team. It seems like they came out of the bye and maybe over the course of the bye figured out a way that they could make this team a little bit more well-rounded, because it is one of the most run-heavy teams in the NFL. Whenever we take a look, actually, it is the third most run-heavy team in all of the NFL. So, but Cleveland's offense, look, their offense overall, Pro Football Focus loves them. 3rd overall. DVOA, they're 10th overall. So the offense has been good. Of course, the run defense, the run offense, about that. You got Nick Chubb, you got Kareem Hunt. You are absolutely getting it done on the ground. Their early down EPA is 5th in the league. Explosive runs, 1st overall in the league. As you would imagine, their rush offense, number 3 overall by Pro Football Focus. Adjusted line yards is 4th. So the blocking has been there. Again, they will be without Wyatt Teller, a huge, huge, huge part of that offensive line. But I still think that they win here more times than not. Not only passing, but not only running, but passing as well. That's the other thing about this with Baker Mayfield. He is not getting pressured at all. They allow the second fewest amount of pressure in the entire league. Pass block win rate is 2nd in the league, which is really good, because if you look at the New York Giant defense, their pass rush win rate, 32nd, dead last. They defend the run pretty well, the Giants. If you look overall, their defense is not terrible. It's actually been middle of the pack pretty much all year long. It's been pretty good. Their rush defense better than their pass defense, which is why I think that maybe this is, with Bradbury being out in the secondary, this is a pretty good opportunity for Cleveland to kind of do what they did last week, which was taken to the air a ton and trying to attack this team through that. If we look at how the Giants offense matches up against the Cleveland defense, one of the things I think that's been hidden a couple of times this year, because Cleveland has played 2 horrible weather games. If you remember those games that had the winds up in the 35, 40 mile an hour gusts and stuff, you couldn't do anything at all moving the ball. I think that actually hid just how bad this Cleveland defense has been this year. I mean, when you look, the advanced metrics don't like them anyway, but I think it could have been way worse if you didn't have 2 games that were basically wiped off the slate. Cleveland's defense, 23rd overall DVOA, 21st overall, and according to Pro Football Focus. Their pressure rate is down at 29th. Their run stop win rate, 30th. It's just a lot. I mean, their points per play down at 26th that they're giving up. Early down success rate down at 26th in the league. So this Cleveland defense is actually one of the worst in the league, and I don't think that we mention that enough. I don't think that we really take into account just how bad they have been, and especially think of those two games. If they had been played under normal conditions, what we'd be looking at this Cleveland Brown defense. It's pretty crazy. But to their advantage, the New York Giant offense has been equally as terrible. 28th overall DVOA, 28th overall Pro Football Focus. Pass offense, 31st DVOA. Only one team worse. And they give up a ton of pressure as well. Now listen, Cleveland hasn't been getting a ton of pressure. So something's got to give. Pressure allowed, last in the league. Adjusted sack rate, 25th in the league. Pass block win rate, 31st in the league. Yards per pass, 30th. Early down success, 31st. Early down EPA, 32nd. I could go on and on. It is literally they're in the bottom offensive statistical categories, bottom 5 in just about every single category that you can look at. So as bad as this Cleveland defense has been, the New York Giant offense has been worse. So can they really capitalize off of this defense right here with Colt McCoy at quarterback? And that's the question you got to ask yourself. They've been horrible as it is anyway, and now Colt McCoy is going to be under center. We'll flip over here, guys. We can look at this, look at a few player props here. I do have a few in the account, so we'll take a look here. If you were wondering, it's sitting at 224.5 on the player prop. Passing yardage for, let's see, we'll go over passing yards. Yeah, 224.5. I do have a slight lean to the over. I kind of had Baker closer to 240. That being said, not enough really to trigger a play for me. What I did play, though, is the over 5.5 rushing yards for Baker. This is just because he, of late, has been a little bit more prone to kind of tuck and run. And, of course, with 5.5, we really only need one decent little scramble and then, of course, two little, first down scramble things or whatever. I actually had the projection a little closer to 8. That's not a huge edge, but when you're talking about something as small as only 5.5, actually the 2.5 yards becomes much more valuable, right? And so I'm just playing the numbers here, have Baker over 5.5 rush yards. You can find that over at BetMGM. One of the other things I have is receptions. I have Jarvis Landry over the 4.5 receptions. You can see that number is the same over here at DraftKings, but it is juiced to 125. So over here at MGM, you're getting the 4.5, but it's only 110. Taking the over on this. Listen, like I said, I think they figured something out with this pass game over the last month of the season. And Jarvis Landry kind of running these little underneath routes, these being the safety blanket, I think has been something that that they're going to continue to do. If you look over the last 3 games, 8, 8, and 6 receptions for Jarvis Landry over the last 3 games. So we need 5 out of him in this one. I have him at 6 in the projection, so playing the numbers again there. And I will have him on the over of 4.5 receptions. The other prop I'm going to be playing, I think we get a better number actually over here at William Hill. If we take a look at Rashard Higgins, so his receiving yards is actually down at 49.5 here. Let's see what it is over here at DraftKings. So it's 51.5. The under is starting to get juiced. I want to play the under on Rashard Higgins receiving yards. So really just depends on what you want to do. It looks like the best thing to do is to head over to DraftKings and play the juice there a little bit. But one of the things that we've got to just pay attention to is Austin Hooper being back really does hurt Rashard Higgins' production here, I believe. Kind of the routes he runs and things that are going on with that. So for me, definitely like the under on Rashard Higgins receiving yards. It's 50.5 at 115 here. It's 51.5 at 125 here. So that's kind of what we're dealing with whenever we're looking at Rashard Higgins. But like I said, with Austin Hooper being back, I think that cuts into his role in this offense, in this pass offense, pretty good as well. If we look at the basic game lines here, guys, look, 44.5. If we want to make a case for the over, it would basically be that this Cleveland offense just continues to roll like they have been, right? Doesn't really matter what the defense is. You got to remember, Giant defense is pretty good, but so is the Ravens defense. And Cleveland went out and just shredded those guys up and down the field. And now this Giant defense is actually shorthanded. So you could look at a fact that, like, okay, maybe the Browns get you, 28, 30, 31, 30, something like that of these points. And then you're only asking for a little bit out of the Giants against a really poor Cleveland defense. Now, the underside of this, if you wanted to play the under, I think is pretty simple, right? Colt McCoy under center for the Giants. The Cleveland offense at its core wants to be a running offense, right? Like, they want to run the ball a ton. When you have two studs like Chubb and Hunt, of course you want to run the ball a ton, And so maybe they get up in this game and then just start pounding it over and over and over and over and over again, just bleeding the clock to death. And then the Giants, again, just don't find any success whatsoever with Colt McCoy under center. I'm probably not going to be playing the total in this thing. I am on the Browns. I had the Browns, though, at 5.5 before this thing made the move. I think the move is, I think people overreact a little bit to the difference between Daniel Jones and Colt McCoy. I think Daniel Jones is not very good at all. So, for this thing to have moved a whole point from the 5.5 to 6.5 on the news that Colt McCoy was going to be starting, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. But even at the 6.5, if I was going to be playing this game at the current numbers, I would still be laying it with the Browns. Also, if you're catching this earlier in the day, I love the Browns as a teaser leg. You just take this down to basically a pick 'em, right, from 6.5 to half a point, and getting the Browns in a teaser ticket is something I love a ton. So if you happen to catch this a little earlier in the day and you can get this on a teaser at the Browns down to a half point, I would definitely go that direction. So, like I said, no real play on the total for me because I could see this thing kind of getting out of hand in favor of the Browns and then them bleeding the clock out. But then I could also see, en route to this thing getting out of hand, them scoring just a ton of points and get it to the over as well. So no play on the total. Do love the Browns as a side. Love them as a teaser leg. And, of course, those player props we were talking about, the over on Baker rush yards over here at 5.5, and then the over on Jarvis Landry pass receptions at 4.5, and we're going to take the under on Rashard Higgins receiving yards. Guys, the written breakdown over here on the line, so go ahead and check all of that out. And, of course, if you need a sports book, click on your state because you want to have multiple. As you can see, the prices are different, the odds are different, the juice is different, et cetera, et cetera. You just click on your state like you see right there. Very best offers you can possibly find. Free money, free bets, risk-free bets, match bonuses, all the things like that. So take advantage of that. Of course, go ahead and subscribe to this page. As always, everything we do is absolutely free everywhere we do it. And go ahead and, when you like the video, hit in that comment section and throw in what you think the exact score of the game is going to be. You have to type it out. Browns 87, Giants 81. If you get it exactly right, we will ship you an Amazon gift card here for the holiday season. We appreciate your support. Got to be a subscriber. Got to have liked the video as well. Good luck on all your bets for Sunday Night Football, guys.